Yo, what's going on, people? My crypto profits in the house. We're just gonna run down some basic charting right now. Kind of show you a little bit about what I do and what I look at as far as charts and stuff. So we're going to be looking at Bitcoin versus the dollar, right? So these are all real basic stuff. I mean, if we don't want to get too technical with stuff, this is the way it's going to be. So the number one thing is the basic setup that I'm running is going to be 3 moving averages. I have the volume down here. I have the MACD and the RSI. So basically this is what I use to spot trends and just go along. So obviously the number one thing we do when we first start looking at a coin is the 1 day chart. We want to see which way the coin is trending. Obviously just a visual shows you that it's going up, so that's definitely a positive. If you're trying to get in, that's the way to go. So we're gonna go back as far as August just so we don't complicate things. So the couple things you might notice anytime the beginning of an uptrend is we need these 3 moving averages to cross over, with it being the green being the short, the red being the medium, and the yellow being the long term. So right around here we get a crossover. So that's already the first indicator that you're looking at a possible trend. If we look here in the MACD, it actually crosses over a little bit before, because this is the actual crossover right here. So it crosses over a little bit before. So when the MACD crosses over, it's something we might want to be watching. And then the third indicator is it's bouncing off the low of the RSI. And what the RSI tells us is which way something is trending. So it's based on price action. So when we're here and it's going up, obviously it's on the uptrend. So we get crossover here. We get confirmation from the RSI, and then we get moving averages crossing over. And we write it out until we get a crossover on the short term and midterm. So if you would have done just this simple trade, you would have got in around 2,600 and been out around 4,300. So, you know, in a month, almost doubling your profits, not bad. The other thing we're going to see is it always kind of repeats itself if you're watching it, right? So right here it's a crossover, but you see the long term is on top, and that's a negative sign. So this wouldn't be a trade signal. We wait for this right here. It crosses over, and then it crosses over the long term. So this is the beginning of a confirmation for me. I look at the MACD crossover, and then back here it was bouncing off, and it is showing an uptrend. So that means that's where I want to be. That's where the price action's happening. So, you know, you get in the next day once it crosses over at 4,350, I guess, and you're still riding along this trend. This trend's technically not over, even though we get a confirmation of a sell-off here, and it starts to look like it's going down, but then the RSI is showing us price action back up. So there's no actual confirmation that it's time to sell your Bitcoin. On the contrary, it's holding at a support level right here. So that's one thing you got to look at. Obviously we can look at a Fibonacci tool and figure out, you know, how much of a pullback and all that. But just based off the charts, if you notice, anytime we have these candlesticks bouncing off the short term, it's usually a pretty good trend. We have a bad day here, but we end up on top of the midterm, which gives us a strong indicator of a bounce back. So if we close today above the short term, I'm still bullish on the Bitcoin. Just basic rundown of how I look at a trend. This is actually not price movement so much, but just how I look at a trend and if it's worth it for me to get in it. So hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out, guys. I appreciate your support, and hopefully more stuff to come. Thank you.